Twitter, all those other good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I'm back. Yep, man, I'm back. Now, real quick, I want to apologize for the sound outside because apparently somebody decided to cut their grass right during my show. Go figure. So if you can hear that little lawnmower going on, you already know what it is. Now, before we get started, I also want to apologize for yesterday. I just mismanaged my time. Be honest with y'all, just mismanaged my time. Wasn't right. So I owe y'all something special tonight. So I'm gonna have to do that. But before I do that, I got to make sure that you guys can hear me. So can you hear me? Am I on? Is this thing on? Am I live or am I Memorex? I want to make sure I'm live and not Memorex. So check one, check two, check two. Yep, it says, y'all don't mind us offering drinks. There we go. Don is on the wheels of steel. Somebody said I can hear you just fine. Good. Some of y'all probably was looking for me yesterday. Like, did they get him? Did they get Kev? Did they get Kev? Nah, they ain't get me yesterday. But also, I'm going to start dropping a whole bunch of videos. Just dropping them, So I'm going to keep y'all, occupied with some good material. Overwhelm y'all with some stuff. Some of it's going to be original and some of it's going to be from some of these live streams because we get some good sound bites out of them, and I want to make sure y'all can get these out. Now, since y'all can hear me, let me go ahead and get busy because I got to make up for lost time, y'all. That's what I got to do. Yeah, you know the number. What was these? There's some G's in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, not only are there gorillas in here, but there is also a Kevin's Corner store in here too. So you're welcome to check that out. You can get all kind of stuff. Somebody done made their debut return to the room. He was in the room, but he also is in the merch store. And I'm talking about you know who. Okay. Somebody said the dog tag has his dad on it. Yep, that's true. The dog tag, my old man when he was a young man and when he got older. So good stuff, man. Yeah, old man Teddy. Yeah, he contributed a lot to my life, man. Made some choices to change my whole life that I couldn't see when I was a young boy. But you get older and you're like, man, that one choice changed the whole direction of my life. So kudos go out to old man Teddy. Now, with that being said, please text MAGA to this number 330-974-4607. And also, if you want, you can contribute or help out the channel by donating to my channel through my Cash App or my PayPal. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on and set to all so that you don't miss anything unless I purposely don't do a show. Then, it ain't your fault. It's mine. But let's get into it because we need to talk about some of the fallout since this raggedy conviction has come down that we all know is bogus. And I want to go over some of the reaction from the raggedy left, the fake news, and some stupid people, and then also some of the best reactions and suggestions from conservatives on the right. And I ain't talking about Republican congressmen. I'm not talking about that because, see, they should have did something before it got to this. I'm talking about just Republicans just dropping some suggestions and got an opinion on what we should do as the Republican Party in response to this. You got to have a response. You can't let an attack like this take place without a response. Now, let me make sure, first of all, y'all can see the screen. Let me see something, man. Make sure you can see the whole screen. Oh, yeah. I think you should see. Nah, I don't want y'all seeing all. Right about there. Bam. Now you can see it. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you got to have a response, man. You can't just come out and let them do something like this and don't do nothing. You know what kind of signal that's in? And the Democrats are used to it. So we're going to be talking about that. But let's start off with a little something like this first. Oh, Trump convicted on all counts to become America's first felon president.
Just like John Gotti, it appears Trump's luck has finally run out.
Oh, God. Now, you already know. white Chinese lady, bit, backstabbing, pepper tooth, joyless Reed was going to come out. She was going to be one of the first to celebrate because she was one of the biggest contributors to instigating that Trump, have charges brought against him, that he goes to jail. Anything you could do or say about Trump, she's done it. She's one of the number one stunners when it comes down to Trump haters. So she has something to say about it.
In the form of 12 New York jurors who yesterday found him guilty on all 34 counts charged against him in his hush money election interference trial.
It was very satisfying to finally see this guy get some comeuppance.
Trump verdict would likely move only a small number of votes.
No, that knows. That is the nose that knows. That is Rachel mad to the cow. The cow is on the loose again. So look at all of them gloating. They think they're having themselves a celebration. They think they're having themselves a gloat party. Because see, I'm the only one throws the gloat parties. Dang on it. But they think they're having a gloat party, but it's a temporary gloat party. And you would think these fools would learn now that the dawn is Teflon. You would think they would learn by now, like, oh man, let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. So, of course, I knew this was coming. Let's continue.
Full fines. But if recent elections, of course, are any indication, a small number of votes is in a few key places, that's all you need to change the outcome.
And see, that's what they were hoping. That's all you need to change the outcome. So what they're really revealing is these trials was really about changing the outcome. See, they're not celebrating justice being found. They don't care about justice. They care about the outcome of the election. So you hear her, but that's all you need. That's all you need, just a little bit. And that was the calculation that the Democrats made. The calculation was, okay, we're going to have a negative reaction, then we could have a positive reaction. And if we just have a couple million folks that might be on the fence, be like, well, shoot, man, I don't want to vote for a president that got all this drama hanging over his head. It could change the outcome. So what Rachel Maddow just did is confess that this is election interference. Why are you even talking about the outcome of the election? I thought you were just trying to get to the bottom of justice, Rachel Maddow. See, I thought that's what the whole purpose of this was for.
Small change in the entire electorate could make a massive change when you have a margin that is this close.
But ultimately, do we want to have a president that is a convicted felon?
Yes.
Whatever you think of our justice system, this is a huge deal.
See, you hear that? Now, that's the psyop. The psyop is, let's see if we could mess with the people's mind and say, look, man, don't focus on the raggedy, corrupt justice system that could be weaponized against you. Yeah, don't focus on that, okay? Focus on the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, how would you feel with a president walking around and he has a felony? Huh? Well, how would you feel a president walking around that doesn't have a brain? I'm embarrassed. I'm more embarrassed of that. See, I will stick Trump out there at any given second with the felony, and I guarantee you, he would be respected by world leaders. He would make great choices, and that felony wouldn't do nothing for the simple fact we know the felony is bogus. Only folks that are subjected and susceptible to this type of manipulation would say, well, that felony really impacts the way things. No, we all know the felony was cooked up. So the goal is to shame us out of voting for him because they can say he has a felony. And I'm saying, well, Joe Biden walks around saying things like, my butt's been wiped. Joe Biden has no brains. Joe Biden can barely walk. Yeah, Joe Biden can barely complete a sentence. And you're talking about, do we really want a president that, has a felony? But yet they're willing to accept the worst president of all time, a man who they claim can't even stand trial because he's messed up mentity. So this felony is going to do nothing but encouraging me, man. Yeah, so your little psyop isn't working. Let's continue. Well, currently, let's see how the people react. What's this? Being ushered in? Now, wait a minute. Are those boos? Are those boos I'm hearing? Or are those cheers? Why are they cheering for this felon? You just made this man a super martyr. Yeah, that's what it is. You just made him a super martyr. He was already a martyr for all of the stuff he's been taking for the last 6 to 8 years. Yeah, he was already a martyr, but now he's a super martyr. He's a mega martyr. Y'all done made him a mega martyr.
Standing ovation.
Standing ovation.
Here at UFC 402.
Sick.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Now I know the Democrats are watching the reaction like, okay, let's see how this all plays out. Oh, they still love him? They still love him? See, because Trump has proven, number one, that he's the man and he's loyal to us and the country. See, therefore our loyalty is with him. But then you got those that really necessarily didn't have a Trump relationship and a loyalty to him. However, after watching this abuse of power take place, along with a horrific presidency from Biden. See, you got a bad combination. They done created the perfect storm for folks to walk away from Joe Biden and accept Trump, whether he got a felony or not. One, Biden sucks. Worst president of all times. Got everybody mad. Number two, everybody's able to see this politically motivated. So you get these two coming together and folks are going, man, look, I mean, I wouldn't even be paying attention to Trump like I had been if you guys would have did a better job during Biden's presidency. But you suck so much, you made me have to go ahead and do a contrast and comparison between how things were with Trump versus how things are with Biden. And now my eyes also are open to see what y'all are doing to stop Trump. So it's obvious. And they're trying to belittle our intelligence and make it seem like this is a legitimate process. Look at this. Look at them trying to act like they're talking about this intelligently. See, they're intellectualizing over this. So they bring out the crip right here. You see this guy? You see this guy? It's time to let the perm go, skinny neck owl. It's time to let the perm go. When is this man going to retire from race baiting? Do they get a pension for being a race baiter? I mean, is this some type of retirement plan? Yes, I've been a professional race baiter now for 60 years. It's time for me to retire. Between him and Jesse done retired. Skinny neck owl need to go sit down.
He is now tonight a convicted felon.
And?
Someone that is on the brink of financial disaster.
Now, where's that coming from? What is he talking about? See, these are one of the luxuries of being a Democrat. Just say whatever. He is also on the verge of financial collapse. He's suffering from tendonitis in his knees. And he does have a tick sometimes. And just making stuff up. Nobody's going to challenge him. Right now, it is say whatever you want to say about Trump. Because you're on MSNBC. There you go. So now, Trump, the guy who just made all of that money from his Truth Social and all of this money he raised from the dumb Democrats. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you. So now, Trump's, now this was recorded a couple days ago. Yeah, somebody just put 200 million in there now. Yeah, the number's gone up. The number's gone up. So convicted Trump raises over 50 million in 24 hours. I'd like to raise that much money in 24 hours. Now that's a payday. That's a payday. Dude, how much you make a day? 50 million. What? Yeah, 50 million. I only make like what, 150 a day or something like that. How you make 50 million, Democrats? So let's see how this all paid off. It was a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it paid off.
Mercedes Lewis also in the building.
I don't know if it paid off or not.
Trump, you're the man, bro. It is a damn travesty what they're doing to you.
What? Even a stupid, no-brain, rockhead UFC fighter can see this. Nah, I'm just joking. Those guys are intelligent. But my point is, to the left, it's like, well, he doesn't count. He's just a rockhead, a jarhead, just stupid. No. All of these folks in that arena can see through what's going on, and that's why he's getting these cheers. See, these are smart people, and this is what makes me mad is because to the left, every hardworking middle-class person in there don't count. They're stupid. Yeah, they don't matter. Look at them. They're the middle-class, hardworking folks that's supposed to just provide for us and obey us. That's all we want out of them. And somehow they're supposed to be convinced to walk away from Trump, but our voodoo ain't working. Yeah, our magic spells and stuff ain't working. Look at this.
I'll be donating to you, my man.
I'll be donating to you, my man. A black guy going over. Now think about this, guys. These dudes are jumping out of the ring after winning and going right over to Trump. They didn't go to Dana. You know, these folks just like, thank you, ref, and all of that. That's great. That's great and all. But I need to get over there and say something to Trump. I need to get over there and say something to Trump. Look at that. Man, this makes me proud. This makes me proud on so many levels. I mean, I know Democrats watching this wants to throw up all day long watching this. I know they get sick and tired because they know really deep down inside, without all of these tactics, all of the cheating, all of the lying, all of the manipulation, all of the fake, phony charges and stuff, still with all of that, they can't turn the people against Trump. They have to do something drastic to beat this man. That goes to show that this man right here is the key to destroying their power. And so I know all the efforts they put in only to see this. Only to see this. And I know they're going, man, why don't they love us like that? Because we can tell y'all don't love us. Yeah, Democrats don't love nobody. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. What's this?
For the best, plan for the worst,
We
George.
want Trump. Whole arena. We want Trump. I'm mad I wasn't there to conduct the chant. We want Trump. We want Trump. I'm mad I wasn't there for that. So now, one of Trump's lawyers happened to go on ABC to talk to George Snuffleupagus. And of course, we know he's one of the Mockingbird media folks, straight up Democrat operative. And you know his goal. His goal is to try to, of course, undermine all of the deficiencies in this case. Here he is trying to justify why this was a legitimate case and a legitimate trial and a legitimate verdict. Because surely you don't want the last 2 or 3 folks that's watching ABC and MSNBC and all of that stuff to say, wait a minute, something didn't seem right about this. This seems a little weird that they would be going after Trump. It seems a little weird that all of these charges would be brought up just right around election time. Seems a little weird. Seems a little weird. So now they got to do damage control and try to comfort their people to let them know, don't listen to these people when they come out and say that this is a bogus trial and it's political. Don't listen to them.
But I think when you look at the totality of the circumstances in this case, this is a prosecution that should have never been brought. This was a case tried in front of a judge who clearly should have recused. I think we have a lot of fair complaints with the way that this trial was conducted. And I think ultimately President Trump will be vindicated on appeal.
The ethics panel for the state of New York said the judge was not required to recuse.
Oh, now you see him? You see him coming in trying to litigate this? Yeah, he's defending the judge. He's not for the people. Yeah, this man is not able to see why this judge should have never been on this case. So look at him. Somebody's in his ear. They said that he's not required to recuse himself. Yeah, well, that was before they found out that he was donating money to the Biden campaign.
Well, I think when you look at binding Supreme Court precedent, including most notably the seminal case on judicial recusal, Capperton v. Massey, even the appearance of impropriety can require a judge to recuse for reasons of due process.
Woo! Judo chop! Now, see, he ain't up in there with no lightweight. This man's a heavyweight. Snuffer, who you think you're talking to, man? You ain't talking to some ignorant person on the street. He about to get schooled. Take Snuffer straight to the house, man. Finish beating up Snuffer. Grab him by that big nose of his.
Here, I think we have far more than an appearance of impropriety. The fact that Judge Merchan contributed to Joe Biden during the 2020 election, many of the other issues that we've raised in our recusal papers throughout this case, I think Judge Merchan should have clearly recused, and I think that's going to be an issue that the appellate courts are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I'll say, and I hope this judge goes down as one of the most corrupt judges in history. I hope they look at him as one of the most evil people who helped pretty much destroy the way the American justice system is viewed. He is a key instrument. He has played his part. If this was us looking back in history at like the Roman Empire, he would be a key element. They'd be like, and then Judge Merchan, who was corrupt and oversaw several Trump-related cases, several of them, just randomly. Somehow this guy in the rotation, he's like, what? I'm up again? Dang, so now I got to go ahead and do Bannon. What? Wait a minute, hold on. How do I keep pulling at straws that make me have to oversee the Trump cases? Could it be that we all know that you're corrupt and we're kind of going through and going, not that one, not that one, not that one, this one. Yeah. Well, look at this again. Oh, well, look, you know what? You're up again. And nobody sees that to be a bit strange. I do. And folks with common sense do. But these are the issues. These are the details that they want to hide from the public. They don't want the public to know that this guy, I mean, I thought you're supposed to have judges in a rotation randomly, you know, having cases. But this guy seemed to be over all of the cases related to Trump. Now, I think it's because they know he is a guy who would do everything he can to sabotage Trump and punish anybody related to Trump. So now let's get deeper into this because Snuffy's about to come to the judge's defense.
If appearance of impropriety is the standard for recusal, then why shouldn't Justice Thomas and Justice Alito have to recuse from the cases before the Supreme Court? Why should they?
Why should they? What are you talking about? Because of the bogus, suggestions that you guys come up with that they love Trump, they're trying to help him and this and that. All of the inferences that you guys make to try to make them seem like they are compromised. These guys are not compromised. You guys are trying to make them look compromised so that y'all can get them out of the way. Yeah, y'all are worried about the last court system that has integrity. See, that's the problem. The Democrats have not co-opted. Guess what? It's not the time to be nippling on your foot or whatever you're doing. Come here. Come here. It's been a long time since you've been in the studio. Come here. There y'all. His hair grown back. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's getting bushy again. That's the gizmo I know and love. I love this gizmo. Look at that. That fur's coming back. Yeah. All right. Now scram. Anyway, now. So this guy playing a intricate part in these cases, and everybody knows it. But now here he comes in trying to defend him. Let's see where he goes with this.
I think the appearance of impropriety there is not nearly as severe. I think you're not talking about financial conflicts of interest. You're certainly not talking about a judge who's violated judicial code of conduct in terms of political contributions. I think that's frankly stunning. Speaking as a former attorney, former law clerk, I've never heard of a judge contributing to political candidates before. I've certainly never heard of a judge sitting in judgment over the opponent of the political candidate he contributed to.
Wow. Now that's a lot. Now, how would Snuffy come back from that? See, because, I mean, he tried to bring up Alito and all of them and stuff like that. Because remember, the Democrats don't control the Supreme Court and they're a little upset about it. So they want to get rid of it or stack it or make these folks recuse themselves and all of that. See, but they never asked the judges that are obviously Trump haters to recuse themselves. They never even take the time to possibly even look at how that could be a conflict of interest. That man right here just brought up 2 Supreme Court justices, but yet can't take 1 second and say, maybe it does look a little funny that this judge has all of these things hanging over him. And yeah, I can see why y'all could say he should have recused himself. He didn't even consider that. He went straight to the Supreme Court justices. So you're quick to jump on the Supreme Court justices, but you won't even take in consideration the litany of things this man just ripped off. He just went straight down the line. And Snuffy is like, well, if that's the case, then the Supreme Court justices should. Oh, really? And you're trying to make this comparison?
I think the American people see through this sort of thing. I think that's why President Trump's poll numbers seem to be rising rather than falling. The Trump campaign obviously smashed political fundraising records, including raising money from tens of thousands of new donors in the 24 hours after this verdict. I think the American people see this judgment for what it was, and we're certainly...
Stevie Wonder can see that mug. Stevie Wonder, you know what? It looks very suspicious that they would bring all of these charges to Donald Trump. Ray Charles, any of them, any person could see these charges
certainly
are
hopeful that
fake.
on appeal we can get it thrown out just because of how wildly unjust it is.
Mr. Trump is using the Justice Department to go after.
Well, look at this. Now, check this out, y'all. See, remember, this is all legit according to the left, to the fake news. Anybody who questions whether Biden could be involved in this, whether it could be an abuse of power, whether this could be political persecution, whether these folks have coordinated with the Justice Department and all of that stuff. Yeah, this is unheard of. Just like when the elections, when Democrats win the elections, it's unheard of to even consider that it could be election fraud. Unheard of. In fact, you're kind of a traitor just to even question it. Yeah, you're putting folks in danger. See, so remember back then, it was okay though when Trump was president. It was okay when Trump was president. Somebody say, who's that dude? Yeah, it was okay when Trump was president to question, lawfare. It was okay then to assume that Trump was going to weaponize the DOJ, the FBI, and all of that against his political opponents. But now that we have true evidence, see, we have no evidence under Trump that he ever did that. In fact, he should have. There was a lot of Democrats that probably should have been brought up on charges, but he didn't do it. But now we got all of this evidence, and we have to remind them when they start talking about, you guys can't question the justice system right here. It's perfect. I mean, it finally worked. And Biden has nothing to do with it. But if it was Trump,
after his perceived enemies. I feel worried about the prospect of the Justice Department being used as a tool of this president or any. In our little banana republic, any capable prosecutor can get a grand jury to hand down an indictment of something as innocent as a ham sandwich.
Y'all hear Toucan saying, you hear Rachel Madcow projecting and predicting everything that the Biden administration would do. And they're doing it. All of these clips right here, these were prophecies of what the Biden administration would do. Think about this, guys. She just described what the Biden administration is doing right now.
President's behalf is weaponizing the Justice Department to go after the president's enemies. When you win an election, you don't seek to just prosecute the losing side.
The president using the Justice Department as a weapon to get what he wants.
Department of Justice is totally politicized.
Sticking the Department of Justice on.
No, wait, isn't that some type of betrayal against the system? Isn't that undermining our institutions? Yeah, isn't that showing that? You know what? In fact, it's putting people's lives in danger. It's putting people's lives in danger when you question the justice system. It's putting people's lives in danger. Joe Biden said it. Remember the other day when Joe came out and said that? And it's dangerous when people question the justice system. Yeah, so let's continue hearing these people put everybody's life in danger, questioning Trump when he was the president in the justice system.
Political opponents threatening to imprison his political rival, Banana Republic style.
Trying to exact revenge against all of his enemies, tin pot dictator in a banana republic.
Is acting more like a Banana Republic dictator.
He's using government resources.
Blackgate Trump when she didn't have a full mop then. She had the tight mop. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, she had the dust mop right then. That was just a dust mop. It wasn't a full-blown mop. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. All of them. And weaponizing the justice system, they're weaponizing all of that mess. See, isn't this crazy? Can anybody say projection? Reprojection?
Says to go after his political opponent.
Essentially, we are a banana republic.
Oh, there's a guy with no base. Essentially, we are the banana republic. Yeah, only thing that's a banana is that big nose of yours. That man has a banana nose. That is one of the biggest noses from the side that I've ever seen. Good googly moo. Jeez.
That we are seeking to have a bogus and criminal investigation into a political opponent. And that's you.
Wow. This is fascinating. This is the same guy that said he had a crush on Judge Merchan, or whatever his name, Merchan or whatever. And I got a bad crush on him. He handled this beautifully. Just as corrupt as we needed him to. Boy, I tell you, I couldn't even do it more corrupt than that. It was perfectly corrupt. Yeah, you ever know that? It was perfectly corrupt. Unreal. Oh, well, look at this guy.
Using the Department of Justice to also target Trump's political opponent for nefarious reasons. This is a massive abuse of power and a betrayal of our values.
That was my favorite part about
And back to George Snuffy. Listen to George Snuffy even compliment the deep state. Say the deep state is doing a great job undermining Trump, keeping things in order, being a law unto themselves, being pretty much a secret society to just kind of run our country. And Trump is the one that's going to stomp them out. And this bum works for him. And that's why he's doing the rounds to try to undermine the real threat to our democracy.
Doing the book, I interviewed about 100 duty officers from the White House. And these are people that come, they're relatively young, people who come from all over the government, the CIA, the DIA, Defense Department, military. And, you know, some people like to call those people the deep state.
Deep state.
Well, the big...
Wait a minute, I thought that didn't exist. I thought when Trump said it's just a rumor. It's Trump once again making stuff up. No, there's no such thing as the deep. You know what? Why are you saying this? Why are you saying this, Mr. President? Because it's true.
The thing I learned doing this book is that the deep state is packed with patriots. Yes. People who go to work.
You mean traitors? You mean people who spy on the president, listen to him while he's doing phone calls, leaks his information, leaks his phone calls, things like that. Helps with these bogus narratives and stuff like that. You mean like that?
Every single day on the front lines of the most intense crises the country faces, and do it to serve their country and to serve the president.
Yeah. You mean like keeping information from the president now that we found out, you know, that they weren't telling Trump everything? You mean like that? Yeah, this nasty stinking weasel.
Presidency, not the president. They don't care about political parties. They're there to serve the presidency and the institution.
No, they're there to serve the deep state and the globalists and their power. Their infrastructure that they have put in that allows them to really control the outcome of our country, along with allowing us to have the illusion of freedom, the illusion of having a republic. That's all they're there to create that. We want these folks, you know, thinking that they're free and they're making their own choices, like my fishbowl analogy. The fish inside of a fishbowl have no idea that there are people looking at them just swim around in circles and circles, and they think they're making progress. They're like, look how far we've swam, and all they've done is swim in circles. Don't even recognize that every once in a while they might put a little castle in there, something different, change it up, make it look like, oh, look at this. Look what we ran across. I never seen this little person here in the bottom floating around. Let's investigate this for a second. What? How many miles have we swam? How many miles They have no idea that they're swimming around in a fishbowl, and everybody's looking at them like stupid fish. Yeah, they have no idea. We put them in there, and they think they're free. Same thing with the deep state, or should I say, these powerful, small elitists that they had this system going that people suspected it was like that. But we really didn't know the extent until Trump came along and blew the lid off of it. Now everybody is going, whoa, man, this mess has been fixed for a long time. Yeah, they had folks walking around thinking America's the most freest country in the whole world. And you know what? We should be the standard for freedom, and we should spread democracy. We should spread democracy. Got us up here supporting stupid invasions of other countries, thinking that we're the white hats. Yes, right, America. Now I'm skeptical of almost anything when they start talking about we need to go and invade or we need to go ahead and do. I'm going, I don't know about that. Anytime I see these raggedy politicians, especially the Democrats and the rhinos, start talking about democracy in other countries, I'm going, I don't know. I don't know about that. Especially when I see them trying to support Ukraine, and Ukraine is doing the same stuff that they claim Putin does. They're jailing their own folks and not having elections, locking up Christians. But for some reason, we're defending democracy. And I'm going, that ain't the type of democracy I envision. See, they use these things to manipulate us. And here we are thinking we're patriotic. We're supporting, freedom. And I'm saying, boy, I feel duped on a lot of those things. So many things I got to go back and look at again and go, oh, man. Yeah, I question that. And don't get me wrong. I love this country. And if we ever have a serious situation that we got to go to war with, I will come out of retirement at this age and defend this country. But I won't be manipulated by evil elitists who are doing this for selfish reasons and control and power, and to spread globalism, not democracy.
They're doing it anonymously.
Absolutely. As one of them told me, Mike Seeley said, we serve in silence.
Yeah.
Of course, it was former President Trump who throughout the 2016 campaign led chants of lock her up.
Oh, you see Snuffy? You see Snuffy tried to slide that in? Yeah. See, now you're going to die the whataboutism, but it's not even a comparison. Well, it was President Trump, and they're going to try to, slide that in on the way out and move on to the next thing and hope that this guy just lets that go. It was President Trump that had started to chant lock her up. But anyway, yeah, he thought he can get away with that. But this guy's going to walk down Snuffy. He ain't letting Snuffy get away with that.
Hillary Clinton, but what do you expect from the sentencing process?
Well, but hold on a second, George. President Trump may have said that, but after he entered office, he certainly didn't weaponize the Department of Justice to pursue his political opponents the way that we've seen President Trump and his political allies act in the last couple of years.
You take that, Snuffy. Did you hear that? Snuffy thought he was going to get away with it and move on. He was like, whoa. Yeah, Trump got in. Did he do it? Did he do it, though? See? Yeah. He took the other route. But y'all didn't. Yeah, you think you're going to get away with that garbage snuff?
Remember, this case in New York, it was called the zombie case. It sat and sat and sat. It could have been brought at any point after 2020. And then suddenly, when President Trump announced his campaign for president, it was dusted off, rushed in front of a grand jury, and then rushed into court. You want to talk about the politicization of the legal system? This is Exhibit A. It's absolutely unprecedented in American history. It's not the way that our campaigins are supposed to be run. We contest elections at the ballot box, not in the courts in this country.
Woo! I know they are in Snuffleupagus' ear like, okay, yeah, we got us a real one right here. We don't really even know what to tell you right now, but we're going to try. So here's a couple talking points to try to rebuttal.
That is true, but of course, we've never had a former president or a presidential candidate facing the kind of charges that the president faced because of his own activities. And of course, the Attorney General in Manhattan has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. Finally, what?
Notice they try to get the last punch and move on. They try to hit you with the hit and run. Leave the last crazy behind dis and misinformation thought in the heads of their audience and hope that this guy just moves on. So let me understand what Snuffy was just saying there. No president has ever been under all these charges and indictments. That right there should tell you something. That means the system has been weaponized against him. All he just did to anybody with common sense was prove our point. Like, you got a point. Why is it all of these cases are being brought? Why does he have all of these charges against him? And how exactly did he bring it on himself? That's what I'm wondering. How exactly did he bring it on himself? Please name the charges. Please tell me how he brought any of this on himself. Yeah, tell me, and I know what he would say. Well, look, he launched an insurrection. How? How did he launch the insurrection? By telling them to go over and peacefully let their voices be heard. You know what? He faked the books and he overpriced his properties. So Big Cankle, Queen Latifah had to go ahead and oh really? No victim there. Nobody complained except Queen Latifah. You think we're stupid, Snuffy? You think we're not able to see all of these things are being brought because they're trying to stop Trump? And then, of course, he tries to end with what?
It's true, but of course, we've never had a former president or a presidential candidate facing the kind of charges that the president faced because of his own activities. And of course, the Attorney General in Manhattan has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. Finally,
now, how are you going to sit back and say that the Attorney General has nothing to do with the Department of Justice? And they keep saying this like we're dumb. They keep saying this like we don't see the connection between the Department of Justice and these attorney generals. They're saying these things as if we haven't had information come through that shows that Alvin Bragg met there, Queen Latifah, Fat Fanny, Jack in the Box, all of them have met with the White House or the Department of Justice. They're saying this as if we're not able to see that they sent over somebody who was third in line from the Department of Justice to go down there and work this case. And yet here he is. Just gonna say it because it ain't all, we know it happened, but you're just trying to say it because what? The White House got to come out and say it? See, remember, they allow the White House to just get away with anything when the Democrats are running it. Or what they denied that. They'll just say stuff like that. There's no evidence. They denied it. All of the deductive reasoning, the investigation, the investigative curiosity goes out the window when it's Joe Biden. They don't even care. They didn't even ask the question, why did this guy go from there? Didn't even ask the question. But yet they're supposed to be journalists. So we, the people, have to ask the question. We're smart enough to say, come on, man. You left that job and just miraculously ended up there. And now you're working on a case prosecuting Donald Trump after the Democrats paid you $12,000 for consulting fees somehow. But there's no connection. Snuffleupagus wants us to think there's no connection.
What do you expect from the sentencing process?
I vehemently disagree that the district attorney in New York was not politically motivated here, and I vehemently disagree that President Biden and his political allies aren't up to their necks in this prosecution.
Here it is. Now, here, watch this technique, y'all. See, this is the technique when you get busted, you get offended. See, wait a minute. Did I see you in a car with so-and-so? Man, you know what? I can't even believe you're going to ask me something like that. Man, I ain't gonna even let you sit here and question me like that. See, knowing your butt was sitting up in that car. You know, this is when you get mad all of a sudden and try to shut it down. Like you offended somebody would even ask. Like, man, I ain't gonna even let you sit here. So watch his response.
I think the fact
there's no evidence of that, sir. There's no. I'm not going to let you continue to say that. There's just zero evidence of that.
It is. Well, how about that? You know what? There's no evidence because they was in there like, shut that down. Shut that down. We don't want our audience to know that Colangelo came from the White House and he's working his case. So just simply say there's no evidence of that except for the fact that he's there. That is the evidence. Yeah, except for the fact that that guy left the White House to go down there and mysteriously is working on that case. That is the evidence. But we don't want that because see, long as Colangelo or whatever his name is, don't come right out and say, hey, everybody, I left the White House to go down here and try to sabotage Trump. Therefore, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. If that is the evidence, but he got to try to shut it down. Like, I can't even let you sit here and say that because it's killing our case. I can't even sit here and let you say that on our network because we're corrupt and we're trying to shut all of that down and make our people think this is a legitimate prosecution. So I can't sit here and let you say that because the people in my ear is telling me to stop you right now because you're killing us on this.
Matthew Colangelo was standing over Alvin Bragg's shoulder when he announced this verdict. I mean, Colangelo was the number 3 official in the Biden Department of Justice who suddenly disappears and shows up as an assistant district attorney right as Trump's case in New York starts to proceed.
Winky dink. That's all that is. According to Snuffy, I can't let you say, you know what, this is ridiculous. I can't say. He does have a point there. Because he is digging into Snuffy right now.
You want to talk about political coordination?
This has nothing to do. This has nothing.
This had nothing to do with. This had nothing to do with. I know I'm sounding real stupid right now because everybody is going bull crap.
No, it's not. This has nothing to do with President Biden. Do you want to answer?
It has nothing to do with President Biden. Boy, President Biden gets all the benefits of the doubt. But just a minute ago, during montage. Trump, though, he was the one behind everything. He weaponized everybody, sent his minions after all of them. Yeah. And if Trump would have said, I had nothing to do with that, but that's lies. Trump is responsible for this. He's sicking the Department of Justice on everybody.
Question about the sentencing process or not?
I completely disagree that this has nothing to do with President Biden. With respect to sentencing, as I said before, we're going to vigorously challenge this case on appeal. I don't think President Trump is going to end up being subject to any sentence whatsoever. And we look forward to getting this case into the next court and taking this again all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary to vindicate President Trump's rights.
Former President Trump's bombshell guilty verdict.
Wow. So there you have it. That's one response from the left. Snuffy had to come out and try to run interference for this raggedy case. But now, look at this, guys. We're about to expose how some of the dumbest folks on the left who've been advocating for Donald Trump to finally be found guilty and go to prison have no idea why he's going to prison. This girl right here is about to get destroyed. But for whatever reason, though, she thinks Trump should go to the slammer.
It has triggered a predictable outpouring of smugness and glee from celebrities and liberals. Albus Bison said that Americans must not allow this felon anywhere near the White House again. Star Trek's George Takei quipped that he should now be called 34 instead of 45.
Wow.
And Joy Behar from The View said she was so excited that she, quote, leaked a bit in Costco. Charming. But could these celebrations be short-sighted and short-lived? The Trump campaign has raised a staggering $200 million since the guilty verdict rolled in. Francesca, my question for you is...
Oh, there she is. There's Francesca, the liberal. Woo, she's about to get lit up.
I understand how joyous you must be feeling.
Look at her.
That Donald Trump has been convicted because he slept with a porn star.
You see that? You see that right there? Francesca's about to school us on how evil orange man bad should be found guilty and locked up.
20 years ago, may have shuffled some business papers about it. But why is it good for America that one of your 46 presidents has been treated in such a humiliating manner over something so trivial? And why do you guys not see that this might help him rather than hinder him in the election?
Because they're dumb. They're dumb. There it is. Liberals are dumb. I'm telling you. They're evil, but they're dumb at the same time. You know, and they can only get away with this because of dumb people like this who fall for it and support them. But when it comes down to their evil corruption, it's obvious, it's blatant, and it's so over the top. And they never stop to think of cause and effect. What would happen while riding on the freeway if I stick my head out the window and spit into the wind? I'm sure the spit will go far up like that and it'll miss me and this and that. They don't even stop to think. It'll probably come right back in my face. So that's why they think this is a good idea.
I happen to believe, Piers, that it's good for America when you hold the person who has the highest office in the land to the standards of the American law.
So you mean Joe Biden should go to prison for those documents that he kept when he was a senator? You mean that? You mean Hunter Biden should have been in jail a long time ago for all of that stuff? And if it wasn't for him, it getting, found out that they were trying to hook him up, he still would be running around free? You mean like that? Democrats just completely skip through all the time. Hillary Clinton still running around free.
And in this case, New York state law, where he committed these crimes. I happen to believe that it is a telltale sign of coming totalitarianism, fascism, skirting of the law when you...
Yeah, spitting out all those talking points. Totalitarianism, fascism, you know what? Xenophobia, homophobia, what else we be saying and stuff? The transphobia and communism and stuff like that. They have no idea that they are the people that they're referring to.
You allow a president to simply do whatever he wants and actually never hold him accountable. But look, the reality is this, is that these aren't crimes that were on the books in every single state. These are crimes that are on the books in New York State, as we talked about, all right? And so he knew exactly what he was doing. In fact, this is the most important part, is that David Pecker of the National Enquirer refused to keep on paying his hush money payments because the dude was tired of getting paid back in expired stakes. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it this time, especially not with a porn star. And so Michael Cohen had to do the payments on behalf of Donald Trump. Michael Cohen already spent 3 years mostly on house arrest, but he was already sentenced to 3 years over this. This is squarely Trump's making.
There you go. Squarely Trump's making. Y'all hear that? How will we ever rebuttal to all of the information Francesca just vomited up on that show right there? I think she thinks she just dropped it. Right now, she's probably going to step back in a B-girl stance, like, soon as she get done, like, word. Let's see how this all pans out.
This has nothing to do with his base. It has nothing to do with protecting American democracy, like happened on January 6th, according to them. This has to do with Trump making his bronzer-stained bed with a porn star, trying to cover it up, and then getting caught doing it.
And Michael, look, I do think there's a ridiculous double standard here that will come back and bite the Democrats. For the reasons that Mark Garagos said about historically, you've seen this coming a mile off, where both parties starting to ratchet up this concept of kind of going after each other's leaders in criminal courts. I mean, you see this normally in banana republics, not in...
Oh, well, where do you shake your head no like that for, Francesca? Huh? Yeah, how many Democrats did Trump lock up? How many Democrats did Trump sig the DOJ after? That's what my question is. But here she is. So now somebody from her squad who hates Trump is going to have to school this whippersnapper.
In the United States of America. And it really does worry me as someone who loves America and loves Americans, what this is leading to. Because if all that happens...
Look, you see her roll her eyes, yo? Oh, God. You know what, Pierce? Oh, what a fascist. Pierce, you know nothing. Didn't you hear what I just said? All of the vomit, all of the talking points that's been downloaded into my head. What's wrong with you, Pierce? So let's see how this all pans out.
In each term of office is one party trying to incarcerate the other's leader. I don't know where that leaves America in a few years' time.
Well, this will only come back to bite Democrats if they lose their grip on power, and obviously they don't think that they will. This is why President Biden the other day, when he was walking out of a press briefing, was asked, Mr. President, Donald Trump says that you are imprisoning him because he's your political rival.
But you don't have to listen to Michael Knowles, because he's just a far-right extremist, white nationalist, xenophobe, homophobe, fascist, what is he? What else? Sexist. Keep going, whatever. Hitler, communist, and all that other stuff. So you don't have to listen to him, right? You don't have to listen to him. But let's see Joe Biden's reaction to when they asked him about this.
You say to that charge.
Well, we actually, I'll stop you there. We have the clip. Let's play the clip.
Let's see.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
Oh, look at that face. Now, see, that is hubris. It's kind of like a serial killer who they just can't, they got to get caught because it's like, I want everybody to know it was me. Yeah, at the end of the day, they leak it out. They like, I kind of wanted to get caught so everybody would know it was me. It's kind of like when he sat back and said, you know, I told the president of Ukraine to fire that prosecutor or you wasn't getting $1 billion and son of a gun, he fight. Yeah, he wants everybody to know it's me. I got that type of power. So this grin leaked it all out. That is the most evil, demonic grin right there ever that lets everybody know it was me. But I won't say it. You'll just have to interpret this evil smile. Now, I hope that smile gets turned upside down so quick.
Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign?
I mean, you look like Jack Nicholson in The Shining at the end of that.
Yes, and it's pretty clear this is not a man who thinks that he has to be accountable to the American people. When you look at the federal charge against Trump, there was a poll that came out when that charge was brought that showed 62% of Americans think that it's primarily politically motivated. 62? They just don't seem to care. And so this has been a ratcheting up, as we've all noted on the panel, of trends that have been built up for some years now. Some would say going back to Richard Nixon. But certainly in the early Trump campaign, the Democrats tried to stop him from being president by spying on him and cooking up fake intelligence, ironically enough, with Russia. And that didn't work. Then they tried to throw him out by impeaching him twice. That didn't work. Then they tried to kick him out by rigging the election and changing all the voter rules, in some cases in contravention of state constitutions leading up to that election.
But see, Francesca, she probably thinks that all of those were legit. In her head, all those attempts right there was because he's evil. And even if he wasn't guilty, even if it, came out to be that Hillary Clinton paid for it, she had to do it to stop this evil man. See, so we'll excuse her. She was doing what was necessary, to save our democracy. She wasn't doing it for her own selfish reasons. No, it was done to save our democracy. So we won't even bring that up. We never talk about the fact that this woman had all of these dummies believing Trump was a Russian agent, paid money and lied right to these dummies' faces, and was out there saying the Russians stole the election, helped Trump win, all of this stuff. So as Michael's bringing up all of the other attempts to stop Trump, and this woman got done talking to us about socialism, fascism, tyranny. But look at this. We're building a case right here. So those are the first three attempts. What else, Michael?
That did get him out of office, and he did leave office, but then he didn't go away. He kept running again. So then they indicted him 4 times. Now they've convicted him. They're going to threaten to throw him in prison. Pretty soon they're going to...
Look at her shaking her head. She's not able to put that together. She's not able to find this very suspicious. Now, do you understand the level of stupidity? Yeah, she's not a politician. She's an activist. So Michael just ripped off like 5, 6 efforts of these people trying to stop Trump, illegitimately. And she's still sitting there like, no, because she refuses to relent. She's refusing to give up that TDS. See, when you build your whole personality and your whole demeanor around being an activist and hating Trump, even when somebody appealed to your intellect and dropped that type of data, that type of evidence on you, you won't accept it. That shaking of the head right there is saying, la, 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 I can't hear you, blah, 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 I don't want to hear it. Even though everything this man said should make you go, yeah, that is a lot. That is kind of strange. So let me get this straight. They said he was a Russian agent. That was a lie. Then they impeached him once. That was fake. Then again, then 4 indictments. That is starting to look a little bit strange, but not her. In her mind, it's all because Trump is evil. He deserved all of that.
Threatened to send him to St. Helena, but this has absolutely nothing to do with the law. As was noted earlier, at most you're talking about a misdemeanor that would have already expired under the statute of limitations. I'm not even convinced that there was really a misdemeanor that Trump committed. So my fellow panelist here is celebrating that the rule of law has been vindicated and overturned 234 years of American legal tradition. I would challenge her to see if she could possibly articulate how and what crime Trump committed, because so far Alvin Bragg, the DA, has failed to do so.
Oh, this is what I like. I love it when you ask liberals who are passionate about their hatred for Trump. Yeah, you can't tell them they don't know all about Orange Man bad. You can't tell them that. But when you ask them a key question, they get exposed. So the whole time she's sitting there like, I don't care. I don't want to have to listen to you. Because see, that's what they do whenever they perceive the enemy trying to school them. They shut down the media. They've been trained. See, they got a built-in automatic response. If you are a conservative, I don't care if you are making 100% sense. We shut you down immediately, start shaking our head, call you a fascist, call you whatever, and you see them on the streets all the time. You'll see people come up to them. What are you here protesting for? Because of the injustice and Trump is a white nationalist. What makes you say that? You know what? Shut up. You're a white nationalist too. You're racist, fascist, xenophobe, blah, 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 blah. That's all they do. So now here she is. She won't accept this from Michael Knowles. But will she accept it from what?
The judge in the case, Judge Merchan, has failed to do so, and they can't do it because Trump didn't commit any of the crimes for which he's been convicted.
Well, let's just ask quickly before I go to Kevin.
Do it.
Francesca, just on that point, what crime did Trump commit?
Yeah, that's the real question. All of that stuff she was just talking about. And you know what Trump needs to be? And you know, finally the justice system and a guy who's been beating the system all of this time. And then you know what had happened was? So yeah, Francesca. Yeah, you had a lot to say a few minutes ago. Tell us then, oh wise one, what was the crime?
It was financial crimes. It was white collar crimes. That is exactly what they charged him. He was convicted on.
What was the crime?
You know the thing. Oh man, boy, this is that moment where you're like, how did I get into this? How did I? Come on, Francie. Oh, come on, Francie. You got to pull this one together here. Because, see, I just put everything on the line. I was just a minute ago bashing Trump, talking about how much this man deserved everything he got. Finally, justice has been served, and I can't even tell you why. Can't even tell you. So here she is going through it like, you mean the one, okay. So you mean you want to know like what, like the real crime or the crime? Because see, really, I mean, what is crime? What is crime? See, are we talking about the totality of crime? Because see, really, crime is a part of just being in the mind. So Trump commits crimes in the mind, therefore he should pay the time. He should do the time. So, you know, crime is relative, just like time is. And she's all over the place. Let's finish hearing her wiggle off that hook.
New York state law.
I understand. What was the crime?
It is New.
You just hold them to that right there. Yeah, see, all of the emotion, all of the just throwing out whatever. As soon as they get done with that, now, what was the crime? Paris, you're going to make me, I just said New York law, and then there was the thing he had did, and the one time they said he had.
I don't even, like, it is literally, he just got convicted on 34 counts.
And therefore, it must be true. He just got convicted on 34 counts that I don't even know why or, you know, what they are or whatever. But she just believes it. She got the biggest moment of old times. Yeah, she can't even identify the crime, so she got the jackass moment of all times. That's the crime.
What was the crime?
Of like cooking the actual books.
What was the crime?
Cooking
You
the
are
actual
not
books.
allowed. So you are not allowed to use your own financial, like your own money, to pay off somebody, and then he logged it as something different. He logged it as just a regular payment, but he was actually paying off this porn star to keep quiet, which, if he hadn't been running for president, would not have mattered, but he was, and so it impacted campaign finance laws in New York State.
Yeah, this sounded pretty believable here. Sounded pretty believable. But I'm wondering why this smart woman right here, who just broke that down, I guess she's smarter than the FCC, who figured out it wasn't no crime and they didn't bring any charges. See, isn't that crazy how Alvin Bragg is smarter than the people who do this on a daily basis? The folks responsible for investigating, campaign finance charges, they're looking at it going, I guess they see something we don't see, because we looked at this and didn't see nothing. I didn't know Alvin Bragg majored in finance. Like, okay, I guess so. So now she done schooled us all, and I'm sure she's not listening to Michael Knowles and all of that stuff and Pierce. But guys, this next guy, he hates Trump, but he's going to have to go ahead and help her out a little bit.
Okay, that is what Juan Merchan just oversaw this.
Yeah,
Alvin Bragg brought these charges because Michael Cohen, his sister, was already sentenced to 3 years to do it.
Let's just go before Kevin. I'll be very, very, very patient. We'll come to you.
Look, I'm no expert. Let me just say, hang on, Michael.
You are no expert. That's Francesca. Campaign finance law is a federal law.
Hang on, Francesca. I want to go to Mark. You're the lawyer. Is anything Francesca just said, is that actually the crime?
Now, this is one of her allies. You would think she would say, I would listen to this guy, right? Because he hates Trump.
Look, let me just say, I like Francesca a lot. And we probably agree on 80% of our worldviews. However, Francesca, the way you just described it, call me afterwards and I'll educate you, because that's not what happened. There was no theory that was given to the jurors. The jurors were told it could have been campaign finance, it could have been tax, it could have been false books. They were told they didn't have to specify, and specifically told they did not have to agree.
Well, wait a minute. Why ain't Francesca sitting there doing this right now? Why ain't Francesca sitting there going, oh, God. Yeah. See, when it was Michael Knowles saying all of this stuff, and when it was Pierce asking questions, now she's getting it from her own. I wonder if she's going to take this to heart and be like, you know what? I just made a fool of myself. Maybe I should start rethinking things instead of just jumping the gun and believing it. Just because evil, corrupt DAs and politicians come out and say, Trump's evil, Orange Man bad, therefore anything we do to him is legit and justified. No way could these people make up all of those charges. No way.
Unanimously. That's what irks me. Lifelong Democrat, no fan of Trump, never voted for Trump, never will. But I will tell you, as somebody who has spent his entire career kind of taking on...
You see her take that swallow? You see her take that breath? Body language change? Like, boy, I just made a jackass of myself, because this is a Trump hater schooling me.
On unpopular causes and holding the government accountable, I have to tell you, I do that for a reason. And the reason is this kind of shenanigans, and that's the best light I can spin it, in the criminal courts has no place in a federal election.
No,
campaign finance laws are federal, not state, and the state laws have nothing to do with it.
I want to go.
Yeah, how'd that happen, Francesca? How did this case bunny hop from federal to state back to federal? Why is Fat Albert prosecuting federal crimes?
I was trying to point to you. Trump said, my revenge will be success. Yeah. These are bad people. And he said, it's going to be success will be the best revenge. Do you think that's how this plays out?
It's the only way that it can play out, because as I think most of us on the panel have accepted, there's not going to be some fair legal conclusion to all of this. The only way that this plays out is if the political system in America is not wholly corrupt. It's only substantially corrupt. Biden smirks when he jokes about jailing his political opponents, but it's not wholly corrupt, and the American people can bring enough civil pressure to bear to push this guy back into the Oval Office. That is going to be the only way that this ends.
If he does...
Yep, because if he does not win, we'll all know it was rigged. That's it. If he wins, only him winning could reconstruct this. But he has to do it aggressively. He has to clean complete house. But there's some other suggestions too that we're going to hear from that I love. And I love these suggestions. So here's Francesca. We're going to give her the last word because she's still suffering from TDS.
Doesn't win the election, Michael will absolutely respect the results of.
Well, you know what he'll say,
win,
Francesca?
correct?
And this time with good reason. He'll say, hey, for 2 months of the election year, when I should have been campaigning, I was being put through a criminal court trial over having sex with a porn star 20 years ago.
Yes. Give her one for the road, Pierce. Right up under her chin. Bing. There you go. But guys. Oh, y'all, they done let her out. Mad Max is back. She's on the loose. Listen to this.
On the show today, Congressman Waters, I'm starting with you because you predicted years ago, you said, I'm counting on Stormy. What do your reaction to Thursday's incredible verdict?
Thank you so very much for having us all on today. Let me just say, it's a sad day for this country.
It's a sad day to have to look at that nasty face of yours. That candle wax melting face of yours. That raggedy behind wig. Oh my goodness. She looks like she is always rocking a Halloween mask. I might go as Mad Max for Halloween and scare all the kids. Dang on it. Put that mug on. And be out in the street talking about, if you see anybody, and I mean anybody, in a grocery store, Mommy, she's scaring me. Boy, this is one ugly woman right there, man. Some people, there's no way around it. She's just ugly. You try to find a little beauty in everybody, and you sit back, she's very nice on the inside. Mad Max is ugly through and through. She is ugly from the rooter to the tutor, inside and out. I can't find that one bit of beauty in her at all. I'm looking. Boy, make me want to throw up in my mouth. All right, so let's finish hearing Mad Max vomit up more lies.
I'm still shocked and amazed that his supporters would follow him with the lies and distortions that he continues to give to the American people. What? He says it's rigged. He says if they can do this to me, they can do it to you, bringing in others to cover the lies that he's telling.
This is fascinating because Mad Max, I'm telling you, is dropping nothing but lies out of that Sharpay mouth of hers. Boy, I tell you, she is dropping nothing but lies, looking like a possum.
I'm amazed that those who claim to be so patriotic are so unpatriotic.
See, there it is. See, now this is the shame. This is the litmus test for all of us conservatives. How could y'all still be listening to Donald Trump after all of his lies that he's been saying? Now, understand, guys, she's trying to say we should abandon Trump because of all of his lies. Now, Trump's not convincing us that this is a sham investigation. Hey, he's not convincing us that this was a bogus verdict. You know what's convincing us? Common sense, Mad Max. That's why we're not falling for it. You're trying to pretend that it's Trump who has this spell over us. No, it's my common sense that is prevailing, not a spell from Trump. I'm going, Trump didn't have to convince me. Yeah, 36 charges or however many, that's convincing me. 4 indictments is convincing me. Years and years of efforts to stop Trump over and over and over and over again is convincing me. And the fact that just a couple weeks ago, we heard you get on this same program talking to this same dude with no bass in the voice. He ain't no bass in the voice. He had weeks to go get some bass and he still didn't. He didn't go into the bass store and say, excuse me, I was watching Kevin from Kevin's Corner and he was making fun of me for not having no bass in my voice. So I was wondering, can I get some bass? He don't want the bass. He likes the treble. So no bass in the voice had you on the show a couple weeks ago, and you swore up and down that all of these militia that's associated with Donald Trump is up in the hills somewhere training and figuring out what city they're going to attack next, and could not tell anybody where you got that intel from. Sounds to me like you're the liar, Mad Max, and she's about to run that lie all the way back. Mad Max running it back.
Watching not only what happened in January 6th in Washington, D.C., but what is happening now. And men and women in the Republican Party don't have the courage nor the patriotism to stand up for democracy.
Oh, there it is. See, don't they get all patriotic and stuff when they're trying to shame us? See, they like to use the attributes that we all cherish. Patriotism, our republic, freedom, constitution. Then all of a sudden they try to use that on us when they get busted violating all of that. These people who swear up and down they love patriotism and they should now agree with our corruption. They should overlook all of our evil, corrupt attempts to stop Trump and focus on the patriotism that we're not falling for that. You're not getting us with that mind trick, Mad Max. So let's go ahead because here comes the whopper.
And what's good for America, and understand and be able to honestly say to the American public that this used to be president, this former president is wrong. Whenever he loses, wherever he loses, he'll say it's rigged. Yeah. He'll say that somehow he doesn't deserve to have.
You mean like you? Like all of y'all? This illegitimate president, and you know what? Donald Trump, I will go up there and take him out tonight. You mean like that?
To be lawful. Well, as the president said, no one is above the law. Those jurors on that jury are to be commended for what they have done. You had 7 men and 5 women who stepped up to the plate and did the hard work and rolled out to America and told America the truth. This man is guilty.
And you see no base? You see no base? Amen. Yes. Yeah, I bet you he claps like this. Men don't clap like that. All right? I want elbows out. Nothing but palm. None of this. No tight elbows. So tight elbows, no bass in the voice, is over here going, yes. So let's hear now the lie of the century.
Not 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times, but on all 30
Look at him laughing.
That's amazing.
Right. 34 times.
I am going to spend some time with the criminal justice system, with the justice system, asking them, tell us what's going on with the domestic terrorists.
Oh, so you're going to spend some time using lawfare and using the justice system to go after folks that have not committed no crime except for supporting Donald Trump. And I'm just going to go ahead and label these folks as domestic terrorists. And I'm going to use the same tactics that I just said that Trump is lying about. Unbelievable. So here she is, knowing she ain't going to do none of that anyway. Justice system don't want to hear from Mad Max. She is not a heavy hitter in the Democrat Party. She is used for stuff just like this. Nobody would take her seriously anyway. But nonetheless, this is her getting up here saying that she would be willing to go ahead, tell the Justice Department to go ahead and look into all of these Trump supporters who just for whatever reason don't believe that these are legitimate charges and a legitimate verdict, and they're domestic terrorists. Just call them domestic terrorists. Now, who's the liar, Mad Max?
Are they preparing a civil war against us? Should we be concerned about our safety? What is he doing with this divisive language? It is dangerous, and we're going to have to make sure that we understand that we're not at risk with this man talking in the way that he's doing.
Now, she just straight called Trump supporters domestic terrorists. And are they dangerous? Are they preparing for civil war against us? And I'm going to meet with the Justice Department to have them unlawfully start looking into these people. Yeah, see, Democrats always leak out who they are. Just let them talk long enough. Just let her get, see, she's dumb. And so dumb that she'll get on a rant and not realize that she will reveal that she's the real threat to democracy. as she sits back and just label folks domestic terrorists and drop a lie out like that. But hey, she won't be outdone by skinny neck Al Sharpton.
I do believe the Supreme Court should step in. Obviously, this is totally unprecedented, and it's dangerous to our system. I think that the justices on the court, I know many of them personally, I think they're deeply concerned about that as we are. So I think they'll set this straight, but it's going to take a while. You're right. The process takes a while to play out. This will be overturned, guys. There's no question about it. It's just going to take some time.
Tim, the Supreme Court, do they have any jurisdiction over that? What is he talking about?
What is he talking about? Do you hear no bass? Trying to act. What? The Supreme Court? Tim? Does they have any jurisdiction? What is he talking about? Boy, I'll tell you, man. I couldn't even sit on that set without saying something about that bass. Every song that has bass in it. He'd be like, so, welcome to the show. I'd be like, bass! How low can you go? I'm sorry. What was the question again? Cars ride by with the booming system. I need some beat. What was that? I got moans in the house. I got a ghost in here. What the crap? Anyway, but you hear that, dude? I would never be able to sit there and listen to that treble without saying something. I'd be like, I'm sorry, man. Hold on for a second. What are you doing? Trying to turn up the bass. Trying to equalize it. Okay? I don't like no treble.
I mean, these guys have become so presumptuous that they really do think that the Supreme Court is a political arm that is just going to do their bidding. I mean, that is how they act. You know, that is how they treat the Supreme Court. That is how Samuel Alito acts when he feels like he can just go to Fox and lie about what happened, with the flag outside his house.
So now you're attacking the Supreme Court justices? You're attacking our institutions? What's going on with this? I thought, you can't ever say anything negative about the system, these judges, unless you feel that these judges might support Donald Trump's cause. Now all of a sudden they're illegitimate. Now all of a sudden you can question their integrity. Now all of a sudden you can ask them to recuse themselves because they have conflicts of interest. Unlike the guy who's getting paid, his daughter's getting paid all that money over the case he's overseeing. Unlike him. Yeah. But look, Al Sharpton ready.
I think no, they don't have any jurisdiction, but that's just one lie about this whole process. Tim Scott, going back to Tim Scott, he said that the Biden administration did this prosecution when it was a DA. There was no DOJ involvement with this. Right. So they don't understand the system or they're...
Two no basis is talking. Yeah, right. That's right. And see, there's the Biden. You know what? And guess what? Both of them. No base.
Blatantly lying about it.
And Rev, the thing that jumped out at me, even more so than just the entire thing of what the speaker just said, is when he said, I know many of them personally.
That's right. That's right. Now, here comes the attack on the fallback plan that will justify and vindicate Donald Trump, which is the Supreme Court. See, they're starting to turn their attention towards the Supreme Court. But yet, if you question this raggedy judge who oversaw the case and coached all of those people into a guilty verdict, now you're questioning the institutions. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to suggest that. But now all of a sudden, they're getting out ahead of it, attacking the Supreme Court off grip.
I know many of them personally, implying that they and he are on the same page, that they're not going to be making a judicial decision, is that they're aligned politically, and in this case, maybe aligned in terms of Donald Trump, because...
Man, Al, I think you better let it go. Doom, 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 doom. It looks like another perm TKO. Doom, doom, doom. You need to let that perm go, man. That perm is starting right here. What is up with that? It's time to let it go. Yeah. It looks like another perm TKO. Boy, that is not a good look, Al. Some folks just can't let it go. Boy, somebody need to tell him to his face. Come here, man. Come here. When you gonna shave that mess off your head, Al? I would. If I saw him, if I ever met him, that's the first thing I would say. Yo, how you doing, brother? I'd be like, I don't want to talk about that. When you gonna shave that mess off your head, okay? Okay? The perm is gone, man. You got a shag now. That's not a perm. That's a shag. Some of y'all don't know what a shag is, but the shag right there, it looked like he has a mullet. That's what it looked like. That man right there got a shag / mullet.
Because why would you even say, I know them personally, when you're saying that they ought to be ruling on fairness of law?
On the merits.
It is to confirm what many of us have suspected, that these were political nominees.
Oh, here we go. Now all of a sudden it's political nominees. Now all of a sudden they compromise. It's political. The Supreme Court justice right here now has been. But wait a minute. We just heard Mad Max say all the lies Trump is saying about the is rigged and is political persecution. But now all of a sudden, here they are saying that the Supreme Court is rigged.
Based on some partisan commitment, and that is why we have deep concerns about this court.
Look at that. Well, guys, I'm going to leave y'all hanging so y'all will come back tomorrow because I didn't even get a chance. These are the top 4 responses from Republicans, not Republican politicians, but Republicans on what we should do to these Democrats. I love their responses. So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all something to look forward to tomorrow. We done went over the dummies. We done covered the dummies, the stupid folks coming out trying to justify this and defend this mess. So now what do we do as conservatives, as the conservative party? How should we respond? Like usual? Should we respond like usual? Well, let's just see what happens. Let the system work itself out. Or should we go ahead and put our foots all the way up their butts? And how should we do it? And you'll have to find out tomorrow. Same time, same place. All right. So guys, don't forget, hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. I will be back 7 o'clock, same time. If you want to help out the channel, you can. There is a link right below this video where you can click on that and give to the channel if you want to. Text MAGA to 330. You would think I would have memorized it by now. Darn it. If I wasn't trying, I would get it. 330-674-4709, I think. Anyway, y'all saw it in the beginning of the show. Make sure you're still subscribed. Okay, if you're not, resubscribe to the channel because you never know with YouTube. And I'm not even going to close out with my song because I don't want y'all to see the 4 folks that I think gave a wonderful response and suggestion. Thank you. 330-974-4607. Yeah, so I'm not even going to fast forward to the end because y'all might go ahead and get a snapshot of some of the people I'm referring to. So I'm going to let y'all go ahead and have to. I'll sing it, so I rock the planet, beat my chest like a silverback. There you go. That's the best I can do. So God bless y'all. God bless America. We'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, where we finish up talking about what we're going to do about this. See y'all tomorrow, same time. God bless.